Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another week. And this is the Dojo Live recap show. Today is Monday, April 18th, 2022. This is Tulio Siragusa, broadcasting from Southern California. And joining me today is America Guerrero, who is in Mexico City, and Kim Lantis in Hermosillo, Mexico. Hi, guys.
Hey
Welcome.
all.
Hey.
So we had two live shows last week and a couple of restreams, and we have several lined up for this week. But before we announce the lineup for this week, we're going to try to recap last week's conversation inside of 10 minutes. So we talked with the co-founder and CEO of Neosec, Giora Engel, and we talked about APIs and the future of cybersecurity. There was an interesting conversation around the risks associated with APIs in terms of security. And then we spoke with the co-founder and CEO at Neura Health, which is Elizabeth Burstein. We talked about virtual neurology, headache care at a keystroke. And we discussed the ongoing challenges with folks who suffer from migraines and getting care for that on demand, what that looks like versus having to wait in some cases months to get an appointment, et cetera. So we see how the technology democratizes and access for people and certainly simplifies the care you can receive by practitioners who can go above and beyond just their own states. So that's sort of the side benefit of the pandemic and remote work, is that now physicians through platforms like this can extend their care beyond their state. So if they're licensed in California, they can provide care to people in New York and Idaho or wherever they are. So which of these two shows stood out the most for you guys, if not both? And what did you guys think?
May I go first? Don't raise my hand. Sorry. Yeah. I
Is this the Dojo Live show? People raise their hands. We just interrupt each other. Go ahead.
That's my specialty.
Perfect. So,
Please.
virtual neurology, it was a really great topic. I think that this company, that the one that Elizabeth has a great responsibility with the 170 million Americans who experience headache disease, and there are just 17,000 experts to take care of that. So as you said, Tulio, it's a really huge waiting list, and the way this company gives expert healthcare to patients at their, she said, fingertips, right? It's brilliant. I mean, I know that the reality is it's horrible. Yeah, that one. I know that it's better to have a conversation face to face to the doctor. I know that it's really important. But with this reality, the way that this company offered this service is brilliant. I really liked it. I saw their website and they have this little tiny quiz feature where you can answer yourself if you have experiencing headaches, and this, if this is having like consequences in your stomach, and it's a right away answer that you get instead of waiting. And really, I really think that it's brilliant. I really like the conversation. Yeah. Someone please interrupt me.
No, I think on demand is obviously a trend that we've seen a lot here on Dojo Live, and like Tulia laid it out, making everything accessible, in some ways democratizing it, right? So minimizing wait lists and just making things that are so important, like healthcare, available to the masses in a way that just is kind of an equalizer. And I think that's really, really a very amazing space in which technology is having a positive impact. And most tech with that is utilizing an API. And what I thought was interesting about your conversation with Giora at Neosec was your question, Tulu, is if APIs are here to stay, if they're at the end game, if something else is going to shift. And his counter to that is like, no, I think it was just the beginning. So that's a whole new conversation. And then maybe we can, techies picking sides. Which side of the fence are you on? Are we at the beginning or the tail end of the API wave?
It's interesting, right? I mean, technology sort of has this life cycle, right? when you really look at APIs, they're likened to what was called middleware solutions back in the day when everything was on the enterprise before the cloud. So you had this middleware that connected all these various disparate systems, but it was a whole different game. And most of the security that was developed to deal with on-prem security or one single access point issues wherever it was connected to the internet.
Now it's like countless.
Changed dramatically, and you have all these touch points, APIs, to connect various systems to talk to each other, and each one of those poses a risk for basically getting hacked and such. So my curiosity was, just like middleware kind of came to an end with the cloud, where are we in the evolution of this? What's going to happen next? And it sounds like we're at the early stages, as you said. So we'll see how it plays out. But
we'll see how it plays out.
Stick around, because it never does. History shows technology.
But nonetheless, it's where we're at now, and where we are now needs to be protected. And I thought it was an interesting conversation on just where the onus lies. And ultimately, it's with the owner, right, of that service, and sort of just how regulation is trying to keep up. And interesting to me, I didn't get a chance to watch the Neura Health show, but it was interesting to me with talking to regulation, how you mentioned practitioners able to now with tech work across state lines, which I thought, well, that's interesting. And I wonder how that works. And so it's like, there's just always this constant intertwining of where tech wants to go. And do we want it regulated? Don't we want it regulated? It's a big question. We got Elon Musk right now on Twitter. Don't edit. I don't know.
I'm not even going to go there. But Liz is a perfect example of that saying, if you want something fixed, do it yourself. She has suffered from migraines and headaches and couldn't find proper care or timely care or easy access to care. And so to solve the problem for herself, she went and solved it for millions of other people, which is just phenomenal. What can happen if you really want to go solve a problem that hasn't been solved yet? And there's plenty of little things and niches and things like that out there that have an opportunity for technology to
who would have thought?
Gain traction and give access. All right. What else did you think, America? Anything else come up for you?
Yeah, well, both companies, it was interesting the impact that they had with the pandemic situation. I mean, the company with Neura Health, the Neosec, that one started when the pandemic started. So the culture was built with that. I mean, there was no new steps or new kind of loyalty. It was everything with the pandemic and with the remote. They go to offices, but I really like his philosophy of how their employees get empowering, how they go beyond, how they go for further steps. I really like that philosophy. And with the other company, they had better cases, even better with the telehealth care. There are more. I know that the human communication is really good, but this is really great. I mean, both companies, they adapt with this pandemic situation, and I really like their approach.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. And it also goes to show the idea back in the day where you had to go through an in-person interview for people and all these steps. These companies have proven that's not actually true. Some of these companies started in the pandemic, they have never even met each other in person yet. It's kind of crazy how an entire business has been started, folks working all over the world, and no one's actually met in person yet.
I don't know you in person, for example. I just know your face.
A lot of people we haven't met in person.
I had the pleasure of having met you both in person.
Cool.
But we're at the end of our 10 minutes. We do have a show coming up this week. Exactly. Just to our 12 o'clock unscripted show, 12 o'clock Pacific. We're going to have two for you. We've got one lined up tomorrow. That is Tuesday the 19th, where we will be speaking with Troy Harvey of Passive Logic. And then on Wednesday, same time, 12 o'clock Pacific, it's with Jacob Schoit at Marco Financial, I believe. We do not have the topics yet, but they're sure to be good, just like every show on Dojo Live. No live show on Thursday because it's our monthly all hands. So we'll see you then tomorrow and Wednesday, 12 o'clock Pacific. Don't miss it.